Hello! Today we are going to show you how to apply for unemployment. This video was produced by the Mary J. Trilly Community House with cooperation from Iowa Workforce Development. To file an unemployment insurance claim, the first thing that you need to do is go online and open your web browser. In the browser bar, type in www.iowworkforcedevelopment.gov. Then hit the Enter key on your keyboard. This should bring you to the Iowa Workforce Development main website page. To continue, scroll down under where it says Lost Your Job, Apply for Unemployment, and click the Learn More button. This will bring you to the page where you need to begin your claim application. It will ask you some general eligibility questions. Also note that they will ask to verify your identity. You can either do that through the online verification in the claim application, or you can provide required documents through mail. To proceed, click the Apply Online Now button. This will bring you to the username and password screen. If you have filed for unemployment in the past and remember your username and password, you can go ahead and enter it here and sign in. If you have not applied in the past, you will need to register as a new user by clicking on the Register New User button. Please create a username that will be easy for you to remember. Place your cursor in the first field next to the username. Any field that has a red asterisk beside it is a required field and requires input to proceed. So, create a username. The next item is the password. It needs to be at least 6 characters, but not longer than 20. You can use letters and/or numbers, but do not use any special characters. In the next field, I need to confirm the password that I just created. The next 2 fields, you will put in your first name and next your last name. You can choose to put an email address or not. It is not required. Once you have completed the screen, you click on the Register button to proceed. Now we are going to begin the claim application process. You will need to read the instructions. The first question asks, is the claim you submitted today a new claim? You will get a monetary record form. The form shows the wages Iowa Workforce Development used to set up the claim, looking at wages between October 1st of 2018 and ending on September 30th, 2019. If I want to proceed, I'm going to accept the terms of the application by clicking the Accept button. Here begins the first screen of the claim application. This involves your personal information. So, looking at this, I'm going to fill in the required fields. I'm going to start with your address, as it will already have the first name and the last name filled out. The next field to fill in is the city. Then the state has a drop-down menu for you to select which state you reside. The next field is a zip code. Next, they want you to select a local Iowa Workforce Center that is nearest to you. It has a drop-down menu with all of their workforce centers. Select the one that is closest to your home. The next field is a daytime phone number. Next, I have the option to put in an email address or not. The next field is the Social Security number. No dashes, it is just numbers. Then it will ask you to verify that number. So I enter it again. Then it asks for your date of birth. Then select the highest grade completed in school. Again, this is a drop-down menu. The next question is, are you a citizen or naturalized of the United States? And you can answer this with a yes or no. If you select no, it is then going to ask for the alien registration number and the expiration date. It then asks for your gender. Next, it is asking if you are Hispanic or Latino. Then it asks for your race. Please note that gender and race are not required fields. They do have an address verification. If the address is not recognized by the Postal Service when it appears, you can choose to either modify your address or use the address as they have typed in. It does give a warning that important documents regarding your claim will be mailed to you, and failure to provide a correct address may result in a delay or loss of benefits. Click the Next button to continue. This takes me to my second section of the application. It wants to know how I wish to receive my benefit payments. This is a drop-down menu. They have three options. You can either have benefits directly deposited into your own checking or savings account, or you can select the debit card option, in which case you will be mailed a debit card issued by Bank of America. This gives you information regarding the debit card and the services that Bank of America provides, along with their contact phone number. If you choose to have your benefits deposited into your checking or savings, they are going to want to know more information from you. They need the name of your bank or financial institution, the branch where you bank, the city where your financial institution is located, the state, the zip code, your 9-digit banking routing number, and then you'll be required to enter that twice. You will then enter your account number. That can be up to 17 digits, and you will also have to enter that twice. They include a copy of a check to give you an idea of where the routing number and account number are located. Iowa Workforce Development encourages you to verify your bank routing and accounting numbers with your financial institution. Iowa Workforce Development is not responsible for inaccurate reported bank routing accounting numbers or institutions that are not participating in the direct deposit program through the Federal Reserve System. The next section asks about work performed in other states. Did you work in any states or professions other than Iowa since October 1st of 2018? This is a yes or no question. If you select yes, they want to know what other states you have worked in. Those are drop-down menus. If you have more than 10 states, you can type them in the line at the bottom. Click Next to proceed. The next section talks about the military service. Were you an active member of the U.S. military and on active duty? If you select yes to this option, they want to know additional information. They want to know your branch of service, your character of service, your entry date, your separation date, the days lost, the days accrued, leave, and are you a military retiree as of October 1st, 2018? Have you applied for or are you receiving from the Department of Veteran Affairs a subsistence allowance for vocational rehabilitation? Have you applied for or are you receiving from the Department of Veterans Affairs an educational assistance allowance under the War Orphans Educational Assistance? And have you had other employment since your military service ended on the separation date? If this is a new claim and you indicated you served on active duty with the military, you will need to fill out a request for a determination of federal military service, a wages form, and provide a copy of your DD-214. If you are currently in your local workforce office, you can see a representative to fill out those forms. If you're filing from home or at a different location, you will receive a letter in the mail with instructions to fill it out. Once you have filled out this form, you will need to return it to the Iowa Workforce Development with a copy of your DD-214. The original monetary records you receive may not list wages earned with the military once the required paperwork is received. Iowa Workforce Development will request the military wages be sent to Iowa. Once those have been received, the wages will be added to your claim and a correct monetary record will be mailed to you. When you've completed this section, Click Next to proceed. Did you work for the federal government at any time since October 2018? If you select yes, they want to know additional information. If you answered yes, they want to know about your work for the federal government. They want to know your position, title, the federal agency name, the employment city, the employment country, the employee type, whether that is full-time or intermittent or part-time, the date that you began employment for the federal agency, the date of your separation, and have you had other employment since your employment ended on the separation date. Again, if this is a new claim and you indicated that you worked for the federal government, Iowa Workforce Development will request the federal wages be sent to Iowa. The original monetary record you received may not list wages earned with the federal government. Once the federal wages are received, they will be added to your claim and a correct monetary record will be mailed to you. Once you have completed this section, click on the Next button to continue. This section asks, in the past 52 weeks, did you file, receive, or apply for unemployment benefits? If you select yes, they want to know more information. If you select yes, they want to know which state you applied for or received unemployment insurance benefits from. Once that is completed, click the Next button. Tax withholding unemployment benefits are taxable income. If you choose not to have federal and state taxes withheld from your benefit payments, you will be responsible for paying all the taxes on those benefits at the end of the calendar year. So, the question is, do you want federal tax withholding equal to 10% of the gross weekly benefit deducted from your unemployment insurance benefits? You will then select yes or no. They then ask you, do you want Iowa tax withholding equal to 5% of the gross weekly benefit deducted from your unemployment insurance benefits? Again, it's a yes or no question. Once you have completed those questions, click the Next button to proceed. The next section asks about your dependents. Do you have a spouse, children, or other dependents? Then you'll answer yes or no. If you select yes on the first question, it will ask you, do you have a spouse that earned $120 or less last week? Do not count earnings from a spouse's self-employment. If you answer yes to that question, they want to know your spouse's name and if your spouse has filed unemployment insurance within the last 12 months. Do you have dependents other than yourself or a spouse that you were able to claim on your federal tax returns last year? If you select yes, they want to know the names of your dependents. Please enter the names of your dependents. Do not include your name or your spouse's name in any of the entry fields. First and last names will be required. Once you've completed this section, click the Next button to move on to the next section. Now they want to know about your most recent employer. So, who did you most recently work for? Was this work for employer performed in Iowa? Click yes or no. If you answer no, a field comes up. Here, they want to know your employer's name, the address of the employer based on the payroll address. Usually that can be found on your W-2 or paycheck stub. The city, the state, zip code, your employer's phone number, the last job title that you held. So here you would type in the company name, your last job title, and then you would be required to select an O-Net job title. This is a drop-down menu. Based on the information that you typed in regarding your job title, select the best or closest option that is available. Select the separation reason. So these options are layoffs, lack of work, layoffs due to business closure. A business closing means that the employer is no longer in operation and that you will not be returning to that employer. You quit or are discharged or on strike. You are still working reduced hours. They want to know the date that you began employment for this employer and the most recent last day that you physically worked. Did you or will you receive vacation and or severance pay on your last paycheck? or at the time of separation? If your answer is yes to that question, you will be asked what date you would be paid through. Meaning, if your last day of work was Thursday, March 19th of 2020, and you're being paid for 8 hours of vacation, you would need to put that on March 20th, 2020 in the field to cover that day after your last day of work. If you answer no, you do not get an additional question. Once this is complete, continue to the next question. If your work was performed in Iowa for this employer, it will give you some options for selecting the wage records they have on file for you. I'm selecting what most closely resembles the type of work that I did the last day of work with no vacation. Now I'm finished, so this page I'll click the next button. The first question asked is, please select the statement that best describes your employment status with your most recent employer. This is a drop-down menu. So if you are filing due to temporary layoff as a result of COVID-19 coronavirus, that is the first option. Or if you are not likely to return to your most recent employer, you are on a temporary layoff, or still working for your most recent employer, you refuse to bump a less senior employee, or you obtain work through a union hiring hall, and you are a member in good standing, select the one that best fits your situation. This next part tells you what your work search requirements are to fulfill your requirements for unemployment insurance. Because I selected the temporary layoff, it tells me that I do not have to look for work and that I'm not required to complete a full registration for job search assistance. Had I selected I would not be returning, this would tell me that I would need to do a work search and what those requirements are. If you are interested in the National Career Readiness Certificate, you can click the box. If you're interested in a registered apprenticeship, you can also click that box. Then you can click Next to continue. This page is a certification page. So I certify under penalty of law that I am a citizen or national of the United States, or I am a refugee with permanent residency in the United States, or I am an alien with employment authorization status issued by the U.S. Immigration and Naturalization Service, or I am not a citizen and I am not claiming satisfactory immigration status. Select the correct option. The Unemployment Insurance Benefits Handbook will answer questions about your claim for unemployment insurance and will help you avoid problems, delays, or improper payments. It explains your rights and responsibilities while claiming unemployment insurance benefits. It is your responsibility to read and to know the contents of this guide. This guide contains general information only and does not have the force and effect of the law, rule, or regulation. By checking this box, I certify that I am responsible for reading and knowing the contents of the Employment Insurance Claimant Handbook, and it is my responsibility to access the handbook online or obtain a copy for my reference. An online copy is available here. You can click on that link if you cannot access it online. You may email uiclaimshelp@iwd.iowa.gov or call the Unemployment Customer Service Line at 1-866-239-0843 to obtain a copy. This is you certifying that everything you have answered in this application is true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief. I acknowledge the information I provided to the Iowa Workforce Development may be requested and utilized for other governmental purposes, including but not limited to the verification of eligibility under other government programs. I further certify that I will read the Unemployment Insurance Benefits Handbook and I will follow the instructions provided in that guide. If I have a question, I will contact Iowa Workforce Development. Once you've read this, click the box and then click the next button. This section is verification. If there isn't enough information in your verification file, it'll prompt you to answer a series of questions, and once you've completed this section, click on the next button. The next section is to submit. It tells me that I'm going to apply for benefits on April 22nd of 2020 and that my claim starts on Sunday, April 19th and ends Saturday, April 25th. This is the first week of my claim. You will be able to go online at that web link to request payment for the first week on Sunday, April 26th. You will receive a confirmation number and weekly continued claim instructions after you click on the Submit button. It will give you a summary of how you answered the questions on your claim application. Once that's correct, you will click the Submit. If you need to change something on your application, you can click the tab up at the top and go to that section that you need to change. Once you are sure that everything is correct, click the Submit button. You will then get a claim confirmation number. It is good to either print this section or to save the claim confirmation number. This tells me that I have successfully filed unemployment insurance claim, and it gives me a link to the handbook. It gives me the weekly continued claim instructions. It tells me that I need to begin that on Sunday, April 26th, and I have until Friday of that week to file that weekly claim to receive the unemployment insurance benefits. To receive your unemployment insurance benefits each week, you must complete your continued weekly claim online at that link. The best hours to file online are between 8 a.m. and 11:30 p.m. on Sunday, or Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. When filing your weekly claim, you will answer questions that are listed below. They ask, are you unemployed or working reduced hours? Are you able or available for work? Have you not refused any job offers or referrals? Are you actively looking for work, if it's required? And are you reporting any pay or pension that you received when you are making your continued claim online? For the first time, you'll be asked to enter a personal identification number or PIN number. Be sure to select a PIN that'll be easy to remember, since you must use the same PIN each time you go online to file your weekly claim. Do not use the same numbers in a sequence, such as 1111 or 3333, or numbers in a sequence, such as 1234. In some cases, you will need to select a new PIN. For the first time you go online to complete your continued claim, after reactivating an existing claim, you can print this or simply log off. Your claim has been submitted and you are now ready to prepare to file your weekly claim. If you have any further questions, please contact the Unemployment Insurance Customer Service Line at 866-239-0843. You have now completed your unemployment insurance application. Thank you.